Okay, Rasputin here for the Miniature Apocalypse. Today we'll be going over tools. Everybody wants to sell you tools. You don't need to buy everybody's tools. You buy a good set, they'll do you for life. With this set right here, you can build almost anything. What we have is we have a Xuron cutters. The Games Workshop cutters are good, but not really necessarily going to last forever. The Xuron cutters, one set of these should last you 10 years. And that's a bit of upkeep, but things like taking paper and just gently sanding those to keep an edge on them. As far as files go, to clean all your little seam lines and stuff off, I like a single, good-sized triangular file. It'll get into all the little recesses, and if you have flat surfaces, it'll take those down nice. No particular brand. Find one that you like and you're comfortable with, and you can go with that. Make sure you clean them. A lot of guys are like, well, how do you clean a file? Well, if you take a brush, I use an old crappy brush, and you take some Tamiya extra thin glue. This is the glue I use for all model kits that are made out of plastic, and you just paint it into the brush like so, and it'll clear all the little bits of plastic out of your file and keep it with a nice edge. You're filing plastic, so you're never really going to be grinding down your file too much. So a good set will last you a long time. Then a pin vise. These are so important because you can take these and drill out stuff. If you're going to magnetize things, a standard cheap set of drill bits is all you need. You're only doing plastic. If you're doing metal, go for the higher end drill bits because they'll last longer on the metal, but they're just going to cost more when they break. So I go through a lot of bits. I'm not easy on my tools. These are pretty cheap. You don't need to spend a lot of money on one of these. Anything you like I said, any tool that's comfortable to you, use it. Don't get the kind that have the compressing action that actually automatically drills for you, because it's really a matter of how it feels when you're turning it on the plastic, because you don't want to drill through things and break them. You'll need sanding films. You can get these pretty much anywhere in multiple grades and grits. I like to slice mine down into smaller pieces so they're more useful. You have your flexi file. This is great if you have barrels with seam lines and such. Anything that you need to do on a rounded surface, or if you need to get in something, you can slide this in, like in between, say, an arm or a leg or something. You can slide it in and do your sanding with it. Great tool. As I mentioned before, Tamiya Extra Thin is the best glue on the market for plastic. It's a little stinky, but it's not going to kill you. And it comes with a nice little brush instead of one of those needle extruders. I don't like the needle ones because I like the brush because I have more control, and I can also use the glue for surfacing and that sort of stuff. The Mission Models Scribe. It's a very specific tool, and you'll probably have to order it online, but these are so useful. You can use them to scribe panel lines. You can use them as a sculpting tool if you need to, or punching holes. But what I use them for mostly is when you have a piece of plastic and there's something or detail you don't want, like a rivet or something like that. You take the Mission Models and you just scratch it out, just like so. You just let the tool do the work. And you can remove details from things. You can make it nice and flush and detailed if you'd like. And yeah, it'll remove any of your little details. And also, if there's seam lines in hard to reach areas, you can usually get in and gouge them out with this. Excellent tool. Last but not least is a knife. This is probably one of the best and most used tools you'll have. It's for trimming flash off of things. I wouldn't use it for clipping stuff out. That's why you have these. You use it for removing the flash, seam lines, pretty much everything. I actually use the back of the tool pretty much more than most. I use the back of the knife for scraping and grinding and flattening out surfaces. Or if you want to like chip and nick, great tool. I recommend this style of knife. This is your best bet here because it actually loosens and tightens at the back of the blade, like so. Because if you use this style, quite often while you're using them, if you're doing a lot of scraping and stuff, you do little twists and turns and it starts loosening up and coming apart on you. Whereas with this style, no matter how close you get to the blade and use, it won't loosen up because it tightens at the far end. And that's all the tools you're going to need to build almost anything.